There he is.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, the mighty Chuck Billy. How are you, man? Great to see you
I'm
again.
doing I'm doing well. How you doing?
Doing great. Thank you so much. We are so honored to have you on with us today. Always great to
Thanks
talk
for
to you. But
thanks for having me.
yeah, of course. Well, you know what this means. This means we get you back in town into the great state of Texas. It's been a while, so we're super excited about it. You got to be excited about it. You guys are already warmed up on the road.
We're ready, man. We've been just a short breaks, chill out for a minute, and we'll get right back at it. And it's going to be an awesome tour. We're celebrating Legacy and New Order, so we're ready.
Yeah, well, and those are very special albums to a lot of people. And, of course, as you get further down the album cycle, you hear less and less sometimes of the old classics. So this is kind of a return to that, right?
Yeah, I don't know if everybody knows the story, but every band after 35 years, you get to retain your rights back to your music.
Mm,
And so the Legacy New Order came up. So we own those records right now again. And we brought them to Nuclear Blast for a re-release, and we went and remastered both of them because obviously technology's way better now than it was 38 years ago. So they sound massive, a lot bigger, and Nuclear Blast did a great job packaging and putting like a 20 page booklet of
yeah,
all our history. And we found like some cool stuff like old contracts, old
yeah.
photos, just a lot of lyric sheets, tour information, just a lot of cool stuff we dug out of our basements for this re-release. So yeah, it's a cool thing.
Yeah. So, what are the songs from those albums that they're just kind of ones that just are so special to you that you're so excited to play again?
Well, their songs definitely, the Legacy, that record was written by Steve Souza lyrically. So I came in and did a song, Do or Die, on that record, which is the first song I got to contribute to Testament. And then all of the New Order I was participated on. So a lot of those songs on the New Order, songs like Day of Reckoning, that's really fun to play. We haven't played in a long time. Trial by Fire, we haven't played in a long time. So, of course, there's all the classics like Get to the Pit and Over the Wall and stuff like that we play in every set. So it really took us back, like on this European run, just how fun. And it was so funny because we didn't need a lot of rehearsal. It all just came back, like they say, riding a bike. We just got right
Mhm.
back on it. And it took us right back to where we were, or brought us back to being 20 something years old again. Put it to you that way. There
That's
was a
a
a lot of energy. The songs we perform, we're much better performers now. And I think we perform the songs much stronger right now, what we're doing. So it's really fun, cool. And especially in Europe, I was asking every night, how many fans out there this is the first time to get to see Testament? And there was quite a few. So
wow.
there's a lot of fans that got to see these old songs that they probably read about the historic Bay Area and in the scene back in the 80s to actually live it again with us live.
That's amazing, and it probably brought back some great memories from that time too, because that was a fun time.
Well, yeah, I mean, when we first got signed up and for a label and had our first record, those were the first songs that's all we had was, those 20 songs. And of course, back then it's sex, drugs, rock and roll. That's the way you go into this business thinking what's going to happen. And there was a lot of good times, a lot of partying. And I think today we're more focused on the performance
Mhm.
and getting those songs across, and it's about the show. And so it's night and day compared to what we did in 87 and 88 compared to now in 2024.
Yeah. Well, and people look up to you and look up on that stage, and you just make it look easy. But what kind of advice do you give to those kids that are want to follow in your footsteps?
Well, I mean, for us, staying true to what you believe in. I mean, staying within your genre, staying within your limits. I still don't see myself as like the greatest singer, but I stay within my boundaries of what I do. And, like anything you do in life, you lift weights, the more you lift, the stronger you get, so it's the same thing applies here. The more you play, the tighter you get, the easier the songs become to perform. So I think at this stage, we're so ready, having so much fun. And it's actually, this is kind of like the last hurrah for these songs. I mean, when you do these kind of things, a lot of fans might want to hear the more current stuff. So this is more of a celebration of that and kind of put it to bed. We put it, re-released it. We're going to go perform it, and now it's time to move on. We're working on a new record. We want to
Good.
focus on pushing that, performing the new songs next year, so that's what it's all about. It's a celebration right now.
I love that. Well, we really, really enjoyed years ago having you on with us with Drew Pearson. Of course, our great Dallas Cowboy caught the Hail Mary, went in the Hall of Fame. And we wanted to make sure we got on here your Hail Mary moment, that moment in your life or career you just had to go for it and it worked out for you. What do you suppose that was for you?
Um, well, I think probably our gathering record in 2000, 1999, 2000, you know, being around before that, coming out in 87, there was a lot of musical challenges and music climate was changing. Metal wasn't getting the props that it had and deserved. And I think around that record, we really took a chance playing a little bit more extreme. Eric brought in a little more black metal elements into the music. And I think it really crossed over to like some new younger fans. And I think to me, I think that's kind of where Testament's new life began, was
Mm-hmm.
from that gathering record to where we are today. Just taking chances, being inspired by the newer generation of music and what's out there, and not trying to copy it, but just being inspired by it. So it's almost like we took this full circle where we are today and where we're at playing musically.
Mm-hmm. Is there something that you keep in mind that keeps you on the right path even when things are tough? Because some years are up and down and kind of all over the place. And plus, as creative types, we're notoriously hard on ourselves.
Well, I mean, the pandemic, that was kind of a scary moment,
Mhm.
thinking we were on a roll, we're gaining momentum, and then the pandemic hits. And at first you think, okay, this is going to be a few months, which turned into years and slowed down the momentum. And you're afraid to like, can we get that momentum going again? And in that meantime, there's so many new bands coming out, so many shows that fans have to go to see. What do you go to see? Who do you pick to spend your money on this month? So yeah, it gets a little tougher. You get a little worried about that, but there's nothing really you can do about it. All we can do is live in the moment and let people know that we're still here doing what we love to do.
Mhm.
Um, the show, we've invested in our show and the show with the light show and stage setting and make it more of an experience, these days, I'd say.
Yeah. Well, of course, and you guys have always had great artwork, great merchandise, great album covers, those kind of things. But you actually have some kind of merchandise yourself, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'd still have the Vapor line
Yes.
and, now, I get some action figures coming out here
Yeah.
soon. We're moving into some alcohol products,
Good.
so we're expanding, trying to do new things. I think, at some point, we have a brand, and we've never really exploited our brand over this many years being together. Now I'm a little more open to kind of spread the word and spread the brand out there, especially to newer generation, for sure.
Hmm. And what do you suppose the magic still is about the band? Because it is still magical seeing you guys, that there's still that something that's there, right?
I think the majority of this, it's the chemistry between Eric Peterson and Alex Skolnick.
Hmm.
They've always had a special bond as far as when they joined together for Testament. Of course, Alex, does jazz music when he's not in Testament. Eric loves black metal, but when it comes time to play Testament, there's a unique combination of style that they put together when it comes to writing music and performing music. And I think for me, I've tried to write music with other artists, other people, and solo records, and it's definitely not the same. But whenever I write and try to work with those two guys, I don't know, there's something about it that just like makes it easier or feel natural. Like it's like I'm not having to put effort because they know what I'm thinking, they know what my abilities, and I know what theirs are too, and it just seems to work. And mesh together well.
Yeah. And how do you keep that voice up? The voice is still so good.
Well, I take care of it. I mean, I'm a big pot smoker,
Mhm.
but when I gear up to go on tour, I really stop smoke. I haven't smoked now since May 1st.
Oh, wow.
It's been a while, and I've chose that when I go on tour, I don't smoke anymore.
Mhm.
Try to cut back on the alcohol, and try to get rest, like when I on tour, once the show's over, I really don't talk much. I kind of shut up and go in my own world. And you know, before I got into the band, I did some vocal training and lessons, and I still to this day sing my warm-up tape every night before I sing, and I the same ritual I've done for 38 years now, in this band. And I think if maybe I missed a night I didn't warm up, I would probably think, "Oh no, I'm not ready to sing tonight." It'd probably throw me off. So it's those, things that you do every night to kind of make it seem like it's last night. It's the last
Yeah.
show. I had a good night then, so I'm gonna have a good one tonight.
Oh, that's great. And so we will get some more new music from you soon, right?
It's there. We're almost done recording right now. So we finished, like, I'd say 3/4 of the recording before we left for Europe, and we had a 3-week break now. And Steve's in the studio finishing bass, and Eric's finishing up some of the rhythm guitars. But
Mhm.
out of the 11 songs, I already tracked 8 of them. So I
Good.
just have a couple more songs to sing. We have another break after this US tour in November. We'll
Mhm.
finish up all the backing vocals and anything that needs to be, after getting to live with it, which is something nice. We never really get to live with the music after recording. It's record, here it is, let's go. It's done, written in stone, which is nice. Is now we really get to live with it on the road and talk about it together and say, hey, what if we did this, or what if we tried that? And we've already came up with so much alternative stuff to try now. Like this week, Friday, I go in and I'm going to try some new things on some vocal verses. Um, we're talking about, tones of guitars and bringing in some string sections. Like on this record, we haven't wrote, I don't want to say the word ballad, but we wrote a slower song that, like, we had back in the 80s and
Mhm.
90s, that we wrote on this record. And it's really awesome, really good.
Good.
And we're going to bring some string section into the song. And, you know, we're not afraid to take those chances where a lot of bands criticize you, like, oh, we don't write ballads. Well, what are you doing that? But you know what? At this point in our lives and career, we're writing to make us happy first and foremost, and what feels good, what feels right. And
Mhm.
this song just felt right now to kind of do this again.
That's awesome. Well, last thing, of course, we love having you back in Texas, and Texas has always been good to you. But are you looking forward to anything in particular? Some beer, some barbecue, some, anything here that you always go, I got to do that.
Well, it's definitely the weather and barbecue for
Yeah.
sure. But it's always, we have friends in Texas, and I think that's on that we go to, and all our friends say, you got to come out before the show. Let's go shoot some guns.
Yeah.
So me and Eric, are gun enthusiasts. So we get to go out and shoot guns and try, guns that we don't own, machine guns, and some stuff that's like just fun to go blow off some steam. So Texas always seems to be about that when we get there. So yeah, we look forward to that.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, we're looking forward to having you here, and can't wait for that new music. But for now, it's going to be so exciting to hear the some classics, and really appreciate your time as always, and look forward to seeing you in person soon.
Right on, Paul. It's always great to talk to you, man.
Yeah, thank you so much. We'll see you soon.
All
Okay,
right.
all
See
right,
ya.
bye bye.